All right, so these are not just names, you guys. And we're not about to get political. This is not politics. This, again, as I said on Friday, I said on Thursday also, we had 13 service people that died in Afghanistan last week. And I think when you're watching the news, at some point, they just become names to you, and you forget that these are real people with real families, with sons and with daughters and with communities, and they're not just names. So what's going on in Afghanistan, I guess, could be debated back and forth, but Kristen really felt like it was very important to connect with you guys on a personal level. These are Americans. These are men. These are women. These are our people.
I come from a military family. My dad was a Vietnam vet. My brother is a Marine. My sister-in-law is a Marine. And it takes a very special person to even sign up to be in the military. The fact that somebody is willing to put their life on the line for their country is to be commended. So I reached out to Bert, and I'm like, can we please just acknowledge the 13 troops who died in Kabul? And he was like, absolutely. So the current number I have is 169 Afghans died in the attack. The 13 troops who died in Kabul were the first U.S. service members killed in Afghanistan since February of 2020. 5 were just 20 years old, born not long before the attacks of September 11th, 2001. 11 of the 13 Americans killed were Marines. 1 was a Navy sailor, and 1 an Army soldier. Navy hospitalman Maxton Soviak, 22, of Berlin Heights, Ohio. He grew up playing football in a small northern Ohio community where his death has left a Maxton-sized hole in his loved ones' lives, his sister Marilyn wrote. Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Noss, 23, of Corryton, Tennessee. Staff Sergeant Noss was a motivated young man who loved his country, his grandfather said. He was a believer, so we will see him again in heaven. Marine Sergeant Nicole Gee, 23, of Roseville, California. In one of Sergeant Gee's most recent posts on Instagram, she's holding a child in Kabul and wrote, I love my job. A fellow sergeant wrote that Sergeant Gee's car was still in the lot at the Marine Corps base in North Carolina. I drove it around the parking lot every once in a while to make sure it would be good for her when she came home. Marine Sergeant Yohani Rosario Pichardo, 25, of Lawrence, Massachusetts. Marine First Lieutenant John Coppola said she had been crucial to evacuating thousands of women and children. Marine Staff Sergeant Darren Hoover, 31, of Salt Lake City. According to his father, he was a born leader who loved the United States and was on his 3rd tour in Afghanistan. His father also said they would have followed him through the gates of hell if that's what it took. And ultimately, that's pretty much what he did. Marine Corporal Dagan Page, 23, of Omaha. He had 4 siblings, played club hockey, had a soft spot in his heart for dogs. To his younger siblings, he was their favorite jungle gym, and to his friends, he was a genuinely happy guy that you could always count on. Marine Corporal Humberto Sanchez, 22, of Logansport, Indiana. The mayor of Logansport said that Corporal Sanchez still had his entire life ahead of him, and that the young man had sacrificed himself by putting himself into harm's way as part of the mission in Kabul. Marine Lance Corporal David Espinoza, 20, of Rio Bravo, Texas. Lance Corporal Espinoza's mother said she had received a call at 2:30 a.m. informing her of her son's death. I am proud of him because of what he did, but as a mother, it's hard. He had been stationed in Jordan for 2 years before being transferred to Kabul about a week ago. Marine Lance Corporal Gerald Smits, 20, of St. Charles, Missouri. Lance Corporal Smits had been stationed in Jordan on his first deployment before being transferred to Afghanistan for the evacuation mission about 2 weeks ago. His father said, it's something he's always wanted to do, and I've never seen a young man train as hard as he did to be the best soldier he could be. Marine Lance Corporal Dylan Marola, 20, of Rancho Cucamonga, California. He had been transferred to Afghanistan about a week and a half ago and left a voicemail message with his mother saying he would not be able to talk to her for a while and that he loved her. Marine Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, 20, of Norco, California. Lance Corporal Nakui was a young martial arts champion whose father watched the television nonstop for updates on the attack until he learned the devastating news from 3 Marines knocking at his door. He was born the same year it started and ended his life with the end of this war. Marine Corporal Hunter Lopez, 22, of Indio, California. Corporal Lopez's mother said her son had recently carried an Afghan toddler several miles to safety. The Riverside Sheriff's Association wrote, like his parents who serve our community, being a Marine to Hunter wasn't a job, it was a calling. Marine Lance Corporal Riley Mccallum, 20, of Jackson, Wyoming. Lance Corporal Mccallum had dreamed of becoming a Marine ever since he was 3 years old. He, too, was recently transferred from Jordan to Afghanistan. His father began checking his phone for a little green dot on a messaging app that showed that his son was online and okay. When news came that 13 Americans had died in the attack, he again checked for the dot and sent him a message with no response. In my heart yesterday afternoon, I knew. Lance Corporal Mccallum was expecting a child of his own.
The Bert Show.